This quick concept is going to be about dealing with duds. What is a dud? Well, most of the time in Dominion, you are trying to draw most of your cards in your deck, preferably even all of them. And a dud is when you are trying to do that. You have the capability to do that, and you don't. This it's unrealistic that you're going to do this every time. This game does have randomness in it. Sometimes you are not going to draw your draw components, and it's not going to happen. And sometimes that'll lose you the game, but it sucks. But how are we going to react to that when it happens? Early on in the game, this will happen, quite a bit more before you've gotten like your entire draw build together, whatever. And in those cases, it's really important not to overreact. The really common thing is like, I have however many villages, however many smithies in my deck, and I dud, and I decide that I need more of them. This is often an overreaction to the fact that I didn't draw this turn. Like, the next turn I will draw just fine. Like, this wasn't a problem with my deck. It was a problem that I didn't draw the stuff that I needed to do to draw my deck. And so, you don't want to be adding these cards when I'm going to be drawing perfectly well next turn. Like, it doesn't do me any good to have these draw cards that don't draw anything. In this case, even though I didn't see my whole deck this turn, it's going to be important to increase my deck capacity just because I will be drawing next turn and I get to do more next turn if I increase my deck capacity. If I were to be adding draw, I'd be trying to increase my deck capacity next turn anyways, and I wouldn't be able to do as good a job of it. So, don't be adding draw cards when you don't need draw cards. It's really easy to overreact to when you don't draw, but it's still important to consider, like, was this because my deck was bad, or was it because I didn't get what I needed to? And then later in the game, you kind of, I'm going to say you do need to overreact. Oftentimes later in the game, there's not going to be this capability of like, am I going to be buying a draw card, or am I going to be increasing the capacity of my deck? It's like, do I need to defend against something here? What can I defend against? If you're contemplating this and it's like, did I draw enough that I can defend against my opponent's capabilities? Well, then, yeah, you should be doing that. Is my opponent going to need to dud as well at this point? Like, am I just screwed if my opponent, draws themselves? Well, in that case, maybe I'm going to press it a little bit. Like, if my opponent needs to dud, maybe I'm going to add some deck capacity here so that when I don't dud, I can actually win. Or maybe, like, as much as it would suck to only be taking one province and leaving two for my opponent, if my opponent doesn't dud, they're taking 3 anyways, so I may as well take the 1 and have a better chance at winning on my next turn. And then I guess you also have to kind of ask yourself, that's kind of fatalistic, like, after I dudded now, like, did I just dud because I saw all my villages and none of my smithies? Is having a next turn actually a realistic thing? And if it's not, this consideration that we said, like, about my next turn, like, we're no longer talking about a next turn, we're talking about, like, can I make it through these 2 or 3 turns? And what is the best way to make it through these 2 or 3 turns, before I have a chance at drawing again? And, oftentimes that'll just kind of be desperation greening. If my opponent's gonna have 2 turns, I better just, like, try to defend against them getting however many points, and hopefully I'll draw anyways once it gets back to it, if it gets back to it. And oh gosh, you sure hope you do get back to it, because it sucks to lose on a dud.